We're back, part three, analyzing every single Trey Lance snap as the starting quarterback of the 49ers in this past 2021 season. So we have now moved past halftime of the game against Arizona in week 5. And funny enough, I'm doing this video on the morning that Kyler Murray pulled a Jerry Maguire, right? Show me the money kind of move. If you go and look at Twitter, Murray's agent posted a lengthy message in the form of a screenshot. I think they could have used a better font to make it more readable, but it was basically telling Arizona to pay up. Kyler Murray not happy to play for $5.4 million here in this coming 2022 season. He wants the new deal, and it just so happens that the movie Jerry Maguire, right, the Show Me the Money line, all that stuff with Cuba Gooding Jr. That happens with a fictional version of the Arizona Cardinals. So it's the right team for that kind of maneuver, I guess. Anyway, 49ers playing the Cardinals in the film that we're about to continue breaking down. Remember, it's a video per quarter. So 8 quarters of Trey Lance as the starting quarterback for the 49ers in 2021. And we are now on episode 3 of 8. So this is going to be the third quarter of the game against the Cardinals. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel right now and go and watch episodes 1 and 2 or quarters 1 and 2 of the Trey Lance film breakdown. We've already gone through a lot. At this point, the 49ers are trailing at halftime. They've been able to move the football with Lance, and he's shown some explosiveness. He's shown a propensity to stretch out the Arizona defense, at least schematically, due to respect for his skill set before the snap. But the 49ers haven't been able to piece everything together yet into points, which obviously is the goal, but the potential has been there. In fact, in the second quarter, one of the things that we studied extensively was Arizona's goal line stop, which came about an inch away from the end zone. So Lance almost scored. He was able to move the 49ers down the field, but as of right now, as we start this third quarter breakdown, the 49ers weren't able to punch it in quite yet. So without further ado, it's every single snap of Trey Lance's starting career up to this point for the 49ers, and we pick it up in the third quarter. They're going to start passing right out of the gate here in the third quarter with a fake and a lot of deep concepts. They're looking to go deep here. Kyle Shanahan, though, not able to scheme anything open, and Trey Lance throws it incomplete. Headed for Travis Benjamin on this play. End zone angle is going to give us an idea of a pass protection failure again for the 49ers. I'm going to play this one back because Mike McGlinchey again struggled on this play, and Trey Lance got hit by J.J. Watt as he went down the sideline, just desperately looking for an outlet on that one. So let's go back here just a little bit because pass protection was a recurring issue for the 49ers in Trey Lance's starting debut here against the Cardinals. Right side of the screen, it's J.J. Watt, who had a huge game. If you've watched episodes 1 and 2, he was a terror on almost every single money down. And this is the first down of the second half, and he's just going to back Mike McGlinchey into Trey Lance. Now, the Cardinals are only rushing 4. The 49ers are in a version of max protect by keeping Kyle Juszczyk and Elijah Mitchell back. So they have 7 blockers against 4 rushers. Trey Lance should have more of a pocket here, and he needs more of a pocket because as when we go back to the all-22, you'll see it's all deep concepts. There's nobody in this shallow intermediate part of the field. It's 3 receivers running deep. So the 49ers need to give Lance some time to be able to see if those deep concepts open. But as you can see on this still frame, Mike McGlinchey is already in Lance's lap because J.J. Watt has backed him down there. So Lance already has to start tucking it in and figuring out where to go. And by this point, multiple guys are getting beaten. So Trey Lance has to really scramble. And as he really scrambles, maybe he could have gotten rid of it a little bit sooner to hit Travis Benjamin there. But that's asking a whole hell of a lot. That's asking for an extraordinary play from a physical perspective to bail the 49ers out of a bad pass pro situation. And because Trey Lance doesn't get it off before J.J. Watt hits him, it's going to be an errant pass. It's not going to get to Travis Benjamin. Anyway, let's go back to the all-22 version of this play. Because this is back to the second quarter. That was this is the final play of episode 2. Mohamed Sanu dropping a seed from Trey Lance. So you could tell his teammates don't help him out there. And then as we start the third quarter, you'll see that the offensive line just doesn't block well enough for what the 49ers have dialed up. And what they have dialed up here is something, it's a deep concept play. Here, you have Lance in the pocket. It's still fairly clean right now. But McGlinchey's getting worked on right there by J.J. Watt. And look where the receivers are. They're all a good 15 to 20 yards downfield. You have your outlet man, looks like Dwelly here on the near side. But Lance is going for a big shot to open the second half, to get him some confidence. And the Cardinals, to be honest, are ready for it from a coverage perspective. The linebackers are dropped. The 49ers don't have anybody that's a real credible threat right here in front of Lance outside of Dwelly for an underneath pass. So the job for the 49ers offensive line, which again is in max protect because you have Juszczyk and Mitchell staying back to protect, the job is to hold a pocket long enough so that maybe somebody can free up downfield. And we saw the 49ers do a ton of this in this game against Arizona with Travis Benjamin active. They're trying to stretch the field. And I think either hoping that the line would hold up long enough for Lance to be able to use that cannon of an arm to get him the football, or hoping that the 49ers would give Lance a chance to tuck it and run against this softer pass coverage because there might be some room underneath. Of course, Lance did his share of running, but, I mean, you don't want him running for his life. There's a difference between running and running for your life. And with McGlinchey backed up by J.J. Watt, Lance has to start running for his life. So I don't like the protection there. I think the protection for the 49ers absolutely needs to get better. As we look at it one more time from the end zone camera, just look at that right side. Just look at McGlinchey not really successfully anchoring and J.J. Watt getting in there to disrupt any chance of a downfield pass. And, I mean, if the protection is going to be like that, the 49ers are obviously going to need more short to intermediate concepts. So that sets up 2nd and 10. They're going to go to the run game here. They're going to try to get some yardage to set up a 3rd and manageable. So this is going to be an outside zone pitch to Elijah Mitchell. Juszczyk had a nice block, but the Cardinals were ready for it. That one went hardly anywhere. It's got the 49ers maybe a yard, but that was it to set up 3rd down. One more look at this from the end zone angle. You could tell Arizona flooding the box. Budda Baker was a single high safety. He was there in case the 49ers got any ideas and tried to pass, but they didn't. And that sets up 3rd down. So here's an impressive Lance play because the Cardinals, look, they're going to bring a blitz. They're bringing heat. So this play's going to be hot. He's going to have to go to his hot read, and that's Kyle Juszczyk, and he gets there for the 1st down. Now look at the 49ers sideline. There's a lot of testosterone there. Some of those strength coaches, those guys are pumped up on that play. You'll probably get a look at them here from the end zone angle as well. But I'm going to pause this very briefly right at the snap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Cardinals defenders coming. Maybe only 6 after Dwelly releases here out of the slot on the right side. Yep, so there you go. Blitz coming up the middle. Budda Baker, by the way, shielded a bit there by Laken Tomlinson. Lance knows that he better get this ball out quickly and somebody's going to be open. And Kyle Juszczyk is the player that's open. That's impressive awareness from the rookie. And look how fired up those guys are on the sideline. Again, testosterone just coursing out of the 49ers sideline. Good play, though, for Trey Lance there. Picks up the 1st down on a 3rd and long. So that is encouraging. All right, Daniel Brunskill on the next down, 1st and 10, just gets backed into Trey Lance, who is able to escape and find Deebo Samuel. But as you're going to see from the end zone angle, this is another failure from the 49ers pass protection. I want you to watch right guard on this play. You watch the defensive tackle. It's Fotu, and he's just going to back Brunskill, who cannot anchor against a much heavier interior defensive lineman, into Trey Lance. And at this point of the play, yes, some guys are starting to come out of their breaks. But it's tough when the defensive tackle is in your lap and his hand is up and you can't step into your throw. Now, yes, maybe Lance could try to slip forward a little bit and throw on the run, but, I don't think that's wholly realistic. You want him to protect himself, and that's what he does. He bails the pocket, and he makes a nice throw on the run to Deebo Samuel. That's going to be a 1st down for the 49ers. So you have to like the play from Trey Lance, despite the fact that the 49ers didn't really get adequate pass protection from right guard there. Now, if we put this one on the side view, so rewind here a little bit more, the 49ers maybe wanted Lance to hit Deebo Samuel slightly sooner. Samuel comes out of his break. Maybe the ball can come out right now. But at this point, I mean, you're asking a lot for a rookie making his first career start to be on his P's and Q's as far as split second on timing on deep out routes, because I don't even know where in the progression Deebo Samuel lies. This very well could have been a play where the primary read was to the seam here on the top half of the screen. He ends up going to Samuel, and maybe this was later in the progression. Based on where Lance's eyes are, that's probably the case. And at this point, you already see that Daniel Brunskill's getting backed up by the Cardinals defensive tackle. So Trey Lance makes something out of nothing, and you're going to see again from the end zone angle that Deebo Samuel really was probably the only realistic option after the rollout for the 49ers. All right, on to the next one. 1st and 10, the 49ers, despite the fact that stuff is not perfect around Trey Lance, are still getting the job done. Now, there was a flag on that play, so it's now 1st and 20. And we could talk all we want about what Trey Lance is doing well, what he can do better. But to me, the theme of this quarter is that the 49ers and their offensive line is shooting itself in the foot and shooting Trey Lance in the foot over and over with flags. And that was the first one. So it's now 1st and 20. The 49ers have backed up. And Trey Lance is now in a situation where he's got to get the 49ers out of a little bit of a mess. So he's got a designed run and a designed run, which I think is like number 9 or number 10 of the afternoon. And we're still early in the third quarter, just coming out of halftime. Does get some yardage back, but as you can see here, it's another hit that Trey Lance has to take. And yeah, these are going to add up. Obviously, we do know that he got hurt in this game. 2nd and 13 for the 49ers. Trying to work out of trouble after the holding penalty. Lance shotgun, Lance quick screen. This one on target to Deebo Samuel. It's going to get the 49ers about 6 or 7 more yards. Remember, Lance was a little bit off target with a screen pass to Deebo Samuel dropped in the red zone in the second quarter. This one hits him where it has to. It's not behind Deebo. Deebo's able to hang on. 49ers get blockers out there, and they set up a 3rd and manageable. So what happens on this next 3rd down? Remember, Lance converted the prior one to Kyle Juszczyk when the Cardinals brought Budda Baker on that blitz. This time, Arizona shows a little bit more respect. They back off. Blitz comes off of the far side, and it's Lance running the ball this time. But another holding penalty. This one's going to be on Mike McGlinchey. So you're going to watch the right tackle right here. Again, J.J. Watt really, really dominated this football game. And from this angle, you're going to see the flags fly. McGlinchey trying to block Watt. And it's just trouble. Doesn't work out. There come the flags. Trey Lance picked up the 1st down with his legs. It's not going to show up in the box score as a carry, but it was definitely a carry because he took another hit. So you officially had 16 carries for Trey Lance in this game. But there were more than 16 carries because of all these holding penalties and all these runs called back. And that means that there was more abuse than just 16 carries, which was too many to begin with. All right, so now we have a 3rd and long, 3rd down and 17. What does Lance do? Does he get the 49ers out of the mess or not? Shotgun, looking downfield, fires, and this is underneath stuff right here to set up a 4th and 5. They get 12 yards to Ross Dwelly. And this is good because the 49ers, I think, planned this from the sideline. They knew they were near midfield. If they could get the easy yardage to Ross Dwelly on that hook pattern, they could set up a 4th down that Kyle Shanahan could go for. And, this is one of those things where people think the 49ers went for a lot of fourth downs in this game and didn't make any of them, but they did convert some of these fourth downs. We showed one in the first half, and the second conversion is about to come. The throw to Mohamed Sanu on the far side. And this was another play where the Cardinals brought some heat, and the 49ers and Trey Lance were able to beat it. You can tell that he could tell that heat's coming up the middle. It's coming quickly, and he gets it out to Mohamed Sanu. Good play from Trey Lance. I think this one is worth looking at one more time. Could look at it from the all-22 angle. Look how aggressive the Cardinals are up front. You can count the pass rushers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe even, are they rushing 7? Yeah, they're bringing 7, and then one guy splits off there at the end. So they bring 6, disguised as 7. 49ers don't have enough to block. That means Lance is going to have to get it out quickly. And I think Mohamed Sanu is the hot read on this play, especially since the DB covering Sanu is the furthest back. So Lance does a good job releasing and hitting Sanu under duress. One more time from the end zone angle. This is a promising play for the 49ers. And, it's crazy. They didn't score many points in this game, but those of you who watched parts 1 and parts 2 and are now watching part 3, you're probably saying to yourself that they're converting first downs. Lance is helming an offense that's moving the ball. That's a clutch fourth down. That was 4th and 5 against the big blitz and the noise in Arizona. And now the 49ers are in business. And they're going to design run again with Trey Lance. And another flag is going to fly. This one on Travis Benjamin for holding. So remember the theme that I established at the start of this video. The 49ers aren't giving Trey Lance much help. And they're also calling a whole hell of a lot of design runs for him. This is already, I think, number 11 or number 12 on the game. Benjamin can't believe it. Officials can. 49ers move back. It's 1st and 20. So it's a 2 steps forward, 1 step back kind of situation for this offense. And it's making Trey Lance work overtime to move this ball downfield. All right, 1st and 20. Can he dig himself out of another hole? Underneath pass. So that's not going to help too much. Maybe get a couple yards. Charlie Werner got the 49ers 4. So it's 2nd and 16. But you just chip away, right? That's all that you can do once you're in an unfavorable down and distance situation against a good defense. So 2nd and 16 coming up. 49ers trying to come back in this football game. They're down 10-0. Lance is going to be in the shotgun. Lance is going to be asked to pass again. And this time it goes very wrong for the 49ers. Pass protection fails. This is the right side of the offensive line, as is usually the case and the problem. And it's, again, McGlinchey losing, McGlinchey he's just not holding his ground, just not holding a pocket, and Trey Lance having to just duck down and take the sack. Now, we can look to see, was anybody open? We'll go back to the all-22 view. But I think that the bar needs to be higher for an offensive line when there's a young quarterback. So here's the pocket. 49ers do have 2 under. We saw the error schematically earlier, given the fact that the offensive line wasn't really able to consistently block the Cardinals. The 49ers sent a bunch of receivers deep. They were in max protect, so they didn't really have the appropriate personnel to be able to send outlets underneath. In this case, they are not in max protect, so they have use check underneath. They have a tight end. I think that's Elijah Mitchell. So that's use check and Elijah Mitchell underneath. You could tell Lance is reading deep to shallow, and he never gets to those shallow progressions because he would be able to salvage some yardage if he went to use check here. The Cardinals are playing those deep passes. Part of probably the unknown in this game, right? Trey Lance was coming in as a relatively mysterious commodity. So Arizona thought, okay, maybe this guy may try to uncork some deep. So they made sure to play it soft, and the 49ers couldn't stretch the field, even though they were using Travis Benjamin to try to do that. And, that left the lower third here more exposed, but Lance wasn't able to take advantage of it. You might like him to dump that ball off a little bit quicker, but at the end of the day, the Cardinals aren't blitzing here. The 49ers do need to do a better job holding Arizona off. And on this play, Mike McGlinchey in particular needs to do a better job just setting a rigid pocket. If he sets a rigid pocket, he does what Trent Williams does on the left side. And that's a stonewall job. But the right side gets backed into Lance. And Lance panics, isn't able to hit the check down. So everybody could do something a little bit better on that play. Now we go to a play where Lance did a really good job, and the 49ers as a whole got themselves out of a big mess. It's 3rd down and 22. Lance has actually, this is the wrong drive. I'm sorry. The big play is coming on the next one. This one Lance just bailed out of, and he threw it away. Kyle Juszczyk was downfield, but this play, after yet another failure up front, I mean, this whole quarter is the 49ers and Lance trying to Houdini-act their way out of trouble. And it's not going to work here. Juszczyk is double covered 30 to 40 yards downfield. So line collapses, drive ends. 49ers going to get the ball back late in the 3rd quarter. And this is the drive where they do actually execute the biggest Houdini act of the game. But it, again, starts with another penalty. This is going to be a procedure penalty against the 49ers. And Lance is going to be in a disadvantageous down and distance situation. He's going to be 1st and 15 instead of 1st and 10. But this one he is able to climb out of. Juszczyk in motion. Lance keeps. Lance throws it away. I thought this was a good decision from Trey Lance. He had no chance on this one. The coverage was good. The heat was starting to come. Just get that ball out, live to fight another down. It's going to be 2nd down and 15. Good defense, too, from the Cardinals. Sometimes you have to give the opponent credit. The 49ers try to run a little bit of misdirection where the run fake is breaking to the right and all the pass patterns are breaking to the left. And Arizona, if you watch here, does not fall for it. They do a good job. They shift a little bit to the left, but they're ready to break right when the to their right when the 49ers switch it up on them. So this is, I mean, this is more of a defensive clinic than anything, and a good job by Trey Lance to just live to fight another down, roll out, throw that ball away. Again, fake right, 49ers break left, and look at Arizona blanket all of the 49ers receivers. Can't blame that one on Trey Lance. And because of that, we move to 2nd down and 15. All right, on this one, the 49ers are just trying to get some of this yardage back. Are they going to get any of it back? Well, Trey Lance is going to try to run, and we're just going to see flags fly. I feel that I just sound like a broken record because this drive especially, the 49ers could not get out of their own way. And this is McGlinchey again. A hold on Chandler Jones coming off the edge. I mean, I don't want to use this to just beat up on McGlinchey all day. It was better in pass protection this year before he got hurt than in the past. But this was McGlinchey's worst game, I think, of the 2021 season. Pause it right here. Look at that right goalpost. That's where Chandler Jones is. McGlinchey's already lost here. He's ripping around him. And then, just to save himself the sack, McGlinchey grabs Chandler Jones, yanks him to the ground. Probably good that Lance didn't get hit there. Might have been worth the holding penalty, but it was still a 49ers O-lineman getting beaten and a holding penalty. And that's not going to get the job done. So this run doesn't count. 49ers move back 10 yards. It's now 3rd and 25. And this is going to set up the true Houdini act. Actually, this should be 3rd down and 25. I think they got the down and distance wrong on the scoreboard. Lance finds Ayuk. Ayuk yak. This was the first huge play for Brandon Ayuk of this 2021 season. And look at that. The 49ers convert 3rd and 25. Now, this, to me, this is a showcase of Trey Lance's arm talent. Ayuk's not really open, so he's got to bolt this ball in there, and he's got to bolt it to the outside shoulder so that Budda Baker can't make a play on that football, and then Ayuk does the rest. So this is a beautiful job from everybody involved. Again, I'm going to slow this one down. This is the coverage. That's as good of coverage as you can get. Budda Baker is right there, but Lance puts it on the outside shoulder of Brandon Ayuk. He's able to snag the ball. Hell of a physical catch. And then obviously the yards after the catch is awesome. It's a team sport. You need everybody to do their part. Trey Lance did his part. Brandon Ayuk obviously did his. 49ers moved the chains. It's 1st and 10. So we're looking for a Houdini act, and Trey Lance delivered one. Then they're going to go straight back to the design run, number 12 of this game. And this one works. This one sets the 49ers up with 2nd and 3 after a gain of 7. So now they're rolling. I mean, the defense obviously demoralized after that Ayuk catch and run to pick up the 1st down. So the 49ers are going to use some of that momentum. They're going to try to steamroll their way with the run game. This is their formula. Once they can get a defense feeling a little bit gassed, then they could play down in distance. Then they could play ball control. And that's what this drive is all about. Handoff, Elijah Mitchell, 1st down. Pairs nicely with that Trey Lance run, right? You go Lance running on one play, and then you go under center and you hand off to Elijah Mitchell on the next. And the defense has obviously been out there for a while because the 49ers have sustained some drives in this game, and the run game is starting to churn. So now it's 1st and 10 from the red zone. They're at the 14-yard line. Lance, working out of the shotgun, is going to sprint right. And this one's not going to work, and this one's going to get his helmet yanked off. Now, at this point, people are really starting to fall in love with Trey Lance, especially if they're 49ers fans, because the kid has heart. He was playing with a whole lot of heart. Remember, this is design run number 12 of the game, and he is fighting. He gets his helmet yanked off. I mean, this reminded a lot of people, I think, of Steve Young getting his helmet yanked off, but I mean, it was a little bit different. Young was in a preseason game against the Chargers, and this was in 1995. This was after the 49ers and Young had won a Super Bowl. Young got his helmet ripped off, and he started running, and I think he got a 1st down, but he ran like 10 more yards before finally being pushed out of bounds without his helmet. And then after the game, they asked Steve Young, why did you do that? Why were you running without a helmet? I mean, it's a preseason game. Are you crazy? And Steve Young said, well, I thought that we were a little bit lackadaisical. So I wanted to inject some life into the team. Just think about that mentality and what it took to do that. Running without your helmet in a crazed environment, right? There are hungry defenders looking to smash you on that field. So running unprotected without the helmet in a preseason game, when it really doesn't matter, when you're the defending Super Bowl MVP. That's what Steve Young did when he didn't have the helmet. Trey Lance, well, I mean, there was a little bit more at stake here. It was a regular season game. He's a rookie. He's trying to make an impression, but it still reminded me of that play. I mean, he was still fighting. One guy was grabbing onto his leg. Trey was there trying to churn forward without the helmet. And, you know, we talk about lackadaisical play. Look at how the 49ers are struggling around Trey Lance. It's penalty after penalty after penalty. Blown block, drop. I mean, again, watch episodes 1 and 2, and you'll see the drops. Here in episode 3, quarter 3, you see all the holding penalties and a lot of the blown blocks. So Trey Lance essentially taking matters into his own hands, and that's why people were saying that he played with so much heart. All right, so let's move forward here to Lance picking himself up after losing his helmet. Very next play, I don't think it's a coincidence. You try to inspire the team with your play. Well, Trey Lance inspired the team with his play. Shotgun snap, pitch left, Deebo Samuel. Look at that blocking. Look at Trent Williams clear some space. Touchdown, 49ers. I'm sure Greg Papa had some fun with this one. End zone angle. 49ers finish off a long drive where they shot themselves in the foot multiple times, but they recovered to score the touchdown. And again, no coincidence that score happened immediately after Trey Lance was inspiring his teammates, running without his helmet, fighting without his helmet. So I think all of this goes to show us that was the final play of the third quarter for the 49ers offense, by the way. So next video, subscribe now. That will be quarter 4. We'll go through some of the more heartbreaking portions of that game if you're a 49ers fan. But up until now, it's 10-7. Trey Lance has moved the football, and finally his offense punches it in. As you can tell, there's so much to like, but if you're just looking at the box score of these games, if you're not really zeroing in on the details of these games, you're not going to get an accurate gauge of what Trey Lance did and what he showcased in this game. And to be completely fair and be completely blunt, this was a poor showing by the 49ers supporting cast. They didn't protect well enough. They didn't play clean football. The penalties killed them, and they obviously didn't catch the ball well enough, and you saw that in the second quarter. So Lance, to me, was impressive. So I have a few points here up on the screen that we'll use as a summary. The 49ers O-line in front of him was bad in this game. That's indisputable. I'm showing you video evidence of this time and time again. Look at what Lance accomplished in absolutely atrocious down and distance situations, right? He got out of a second and I think 22 in that series, but then the 3rd and 25 to Brandon Ayuk was probably the most impressive play of the quarter. And hey, yards after the catch is yards after the catch. Your job is to set your wideouts up to rack up yards after the catch. And Trey Lance certainly did that in that quarter. And Lance played with a ton of heart. And, for a rookie, as raw as he was, 318 career college starts in North Dakota State, hardly any play time in the season before he was drafted. You just need him to show some heart and some physical talent, and then the rest will fall into place if he has that wherewithal, right, mentally to be able to work hard and do that. And I think by all accounts, Trey Lance has that. The fact that he showed so much heart, that at this point, I think should be really, really encouraging to the 49ers. And, again, the 49ers didn't have a lot of situational polish there with all the penalties. Ultimately, they overcame them. And, this is a reflection of where they were when Trey Lance was playing quarterback in training camp. And it's important to note the situational polish is up to the team and not just the quarterback. But the quarterback is going to get the credit and the blame, regardless of if it's fair or not. So he's the most important position on the field. He has to bring that stabilizing effect to the rest of the roster, and the rest of the roster has to have his back. And so far, obviously, it's been a rough work in progress for the 49ers as a whole situationally under Lance in this game against Arizona. But that third quarter sure ended up on a good note with that touchdown drive and that score from Deebo Samuel. So I'm looking forward to breaking down the fourth quarter in episode 4. This one's going to continue through all 8 quarters of Trey Lance play. So everybody, thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you all soon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm headed off to Indianapolis today for the NFL Combine. Make a lot of videos from there, and maybe I'll sneak in a few more of these Trey Lance breakdowns. All right, everybody take care. Thanks again.